All right, this video we are going to go over the Mock 8 Quiz 1A. So feel free to watch as many times as you need to get a clear understanding. If you need to back up the video to watch me explain a question a second time, feel free to do so. All right, question number one. Tom is buying a new car. The base price is $19,450. He wants to add the following options: keyless entry, leather seats, upgrade, sir. Okay, so what we have here is a situation where we do have a base price, but then we also have a whole bunch of options that we will add together. All right, so all of this will make the car more expensive. So let's go ahead and do the adding. So we'll do 19,450. That's our base price, plus 2,000 for the remote start, 25,900. Now, what we're going to get is what is called the sticker price. All right. So the sticker price is what we would get when we add all this together. Then we would multiply the TAVT, which is 5.5%, so it would be 0.055, and you would get the tax. All right. Now, once you get the tax, let me actually make this a little smaller. All right. So once you get the tax, now a lot of you guys are having trouble with this. Remember to always add back your tax. So whatever your tax is, you should add it back to the sticker price. All right. Once you do that, then you would tack on the dock fee and the title fee. So once you add back your tax, then you would simply add another 149 plus 25 to your answer, and then the answer ends up being C. I always forget to give you the answer first so you can kind of skip through the explanation. The answer is C. All right, question number 2, the answer is E. All right. So it says Sam deposited $5,200 in an account that yields compounded continuously. All right, so this is the formula that is the B equals PE RT. All right, remember E is that function in the calculator. All right, so let's go ahead and do the math. All right, so I had to pause the video, so I'm not sure exactly where I stopped. So B equals, let's see, 5,200 is going to be my principal, my E raised to the power of R, which as a decimal will be 0.0385. Actually, I guess I should type this in the way I typed it into my calculator. So if I had a calculator, I would put a parenthesis here. But it says 47 months. All right, so 47, we've got to convert 47 to years. So I'm going to, in my calculator, I'm going to do 47 divided by 12. Notice how I work the parentheses here. Make sure you do the parentheses. So when I press enter, I'm going to get a number that I don't know off the top of my head. Let me use a calculator here. 6,046.32. But remember, notice how the problem started with a B. So remember that this equals the total amount. So this equals the total amount, but that's not what the question's asking. It's not asking how much money does he have. It says how much interest. So what that means is how much money did he earn, all right, or how much money did he make. So very simply, what I'm going to do is 6,046.32 subtracted by the initial amount was 5,200 to get my answer. All right. So remember, make sure you read carefully what the question's asking and make sure you understand what the formula you're using. All right. Question number 3. The answer is B. All right, so let's see. Oliver has a line of credit of $9,000. He made the following purchases. That unfortunately did not pay off his credit card bill. Okay, what is his available credit? All right, so he made the following purchases. So $990 plus $325 plus $500, but he did not pay off his credit card bill, so it's carrying an additional debt of $1,500. So when we do the math, when we add everything up, we get a grand total of $3,315. Now remember, this is how much he owes. But the question is asking how much he owes. The question is asking how much money can he continue to spend until he maxes out a credit card. So that means we need to take the credit line and subtract it by how much he owes. All right. Question number 4. The answer is D. Question number 4, the answer is D. All right, let's read it. All right, Samantha has a savings account at a credit union that charges $25 for every balance that falls below 1,000. Her balance is this, and she withdraws that. Okay. All right, so let's do some work here. So we start off with 1,225. She's making a withdrawal, so we're taking out 285. So when we do that, we get 941, which obviously is less than 1,000, so she is going to be deducted. But so let's see what it says. What would her balance be in 3 months? So basically, what we're doing is we're taking 3 months worth of penalties to get our answer. So 941 minus, well, you could do 25 times 3. That's perfectly fine. I just wanted you to see that I was deducting 25 3 times. All right. So question number 5. The answer is C. All right. So it said Tricia is interested in finding cost per mile. Her fixed costs are 1,890 and her variable cost is this, and she drove 18,000. All right. So I'm going to abbreviate a lot here. So to find the cost per mile, all I do is take her total costs and I would divide it by the miles. All right. So very simply, what I would do is I would take 1890 and 2,230. I got to add those up first. And I would get 4120. And then I would simply divide it by the number of miles, 18,612, and I would get a very ugly decimal, 0.221362568. But remember, we're dealing with money, so I just need 2 numbers after the decimal, which is 22 cents. All right. Question number 6. The answer is A. All right. So what we have here is Janet works for Smith's Feed and Seed. Her salary is $56,400. All right. It says complete her earnings statement semi-monthly. All right. So first thing I need to do is take $56,400 divided by 24 because that's what semi-monthly is. All right. So and that ends up being, let's see, 56,400 divided by 24. $2,350. So her gross pay before any taxes or any deductions, $2,350. Now remember that you will be multiplying $2,350 by all the percentages of each category. Okay, so we've been doing these for a while now. Oh, forgot this. There it is. All right, so a lot of this should be relatively simple. And I'm going to go ahead and write the percentages as they are in decimal format. So the federal income tax would be 0.12. All right, Social Security is 0.062, 0.0145. Is there a state tax? There is no state tax, so we're not going to do state tax. Local tax would be 0.025. All right, so very simply, I'm just going to take 2,350 and multiply it by all these percentages one at a time. And again, just to kind of save time, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the answers. 282, 145.70, and I'm going to be writing all over this. The font in which I'm writing is a little too big for this chart here, but hopefully it's good enough to know what I'm doing. 75. All right, now the medical. The medical is a question within a question. All right, so it says here that the medical insurance costs $29,400 a year, of which she pays 20% of the cost. All right, so there's a small problem within a problem. So off to the side, I'm going to take $29,400. I'm going to multiply it by 20% because that's her cost. So what that gives me is her cost. That's what I'm looking for. So 29,400 times 0.2 is 5,880. Now she has got to pay that over the course of the year, and because it's semi-monthly, we're going to divide it by 24, and when we do that, we get 245. So her semi-monthly deduction for healthcare is $245. So 245. Now, if you keep reading, it also says her union dues are 18, and there's no other deductions. So very simply, we are going to take all of these deductions, we're going to add it up, subtract it from 2,350. All right, question number 7. The answer is going to be, E. So the answer is E. So let's do this. All right, most of you guys should know to take the number of days and multiply it by how much you have. So we're going to do 9 times 350. We're going to do 13 times 762, and then 6 times 904. So when we do that, 9 times 350, it equals 3150. All right. Next one, when we take 13 times it by 700, we get 9906. And then 6 times 904, we get 5,424. All right, that's step 1. Step 2 is to take all of these numbers and add it all up. All right, so when we add all these numbers up, we're going to get 18,480. There we go. Now, the next step is to then divide it by the number of days. So we're going to add up all the days. So 9 days, 13 days, 6 days. That adds up to, I believe, 28. So we're going to take 18,480, divide that by 28, and I get a clean 660. Now, this is the average daily balance. All right. Now, but the question isn't asking you to find the average daily balance. It's asking you to find the finance charge. Now, if you remember, and I'm going to abbreviate, to find the finance charge, you simply take the average daily balance, which we just found, and multiply it by the MPR. Now, remember, the MPR is the monthly percentage rate. In the problem, it says what the yearly percentage rate is. So off to the side, I need to take 15 and convert it to monthly. All right, so just again, off to the side, I take 15%. I'm going to divide it by 12, and I get 1.25%. All right, so once you have all the numbers here, you would simply take the average daily balance, put it there, multiply it by the MPR, which is there. But remember that the MPR will be converted to a decimal because you're actually multiplying. So the average daily balance is 660 times 0.0125, and my answer is going to be 8. All right. Question number 8, the answer is going to be B. All right. So starting with the previous balance, this is nothing more than a very long algebra problem. Starting with the previous balance, remember minus, plus, plus, plus equals new balance. All right. And no, we don't do anything with the minimum payment. So algebraically, this is what it's going to look like. 536.01 minus x plus 995.45 plus 15 plus 1253 is equal to 1389.90. All right. So once we have everything set up, we're going to solve it mathematically or algebraically. Let me kind of get me a space to write here. All right, so at this point in time, I'm going to combine like terms, all right, just like I would in middle school math. So I'm going to add. I'm going to start with that and add all that. Notice I left the negative x. That negative x, that minus sign stays with the x, all right? Some of you guys are using that in your combining like terms process, and that is incorrect. All right. So when you do the math, you can write it 2 different ways, all right? And you can write it as 1558.99 minus x is equal to 1389.90, or you could have wrote it this way, negative x plus 1558.99 is equal to 1389.90. All right. Now, from here, very simply, you would solve by algebra, so I would subtract. So over here on the left-hand side, I would subtract 1558 from this here, and I would get negative x is equal to negative 169.09. And of course, if I subtracted 1,558, again, I would get negative x is equal to negative 169.9. Now, some of you guys are kind of screwing up a little bit. You're like, wait a minute, I'm getting a negative number. Well, you're right, but remember also that your x is negative. Okay, so From here, again, just basic algebra. Divide by -1 because that's what's attached to the x. Divide by -1, and you would get positive 169. All right, pretty simple. Okay. Let me clean all this up. I had to write all over some stuff here. So if you need to, again, if you ever need to go back and watch me do this again, I'm hoping that you would do that. But given the fact I'm trying to erase something, I'm just killing time. All right. The answer for question number 9 is going to be, actually, I'll go ahead and give you, because all these questions tie into this chart. Question number 9, the answer is A. 10 is C. 11 is A. And then lastly, 12 is B. All right. All right, so let's do this. All right, so Tommy has 50, 150, 30 for car insurance. Now remember that this first 50 is how much that one person can get for medical insurance. The 150 is the total. All right. Now this 150 you're going to keep track on way over here for the running total payout. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 150. All right. Now, if you need more explanation, go watch the video that I talk about this. I'm just trying to keep this video just straight to the okay answers. Okay. All right. So letter A, or person A, needs 35,000. So 35,000, the insurance will pay the whole thing, which means Tommy pays nothing. So at this point in time, the running total payout is 35. All right. Next, B needs 57. But remember, insurance cannot pay more than 50,000 to one person. So insurance will give the max, which is 50, and the difference Tommy would pay. Now remember how this works. The insurance, the running total, we have 35, 50, that now becomes 80. All right, it's always a running total from the column on the left to the column on the right. C needs 65,000. Again, no one can get more than 50 from the insurance, so the insurance will be maxed out for this guy, which means Tommy's got to pay the difference, which now this becomes, oh, hold on, you're probably yelling at the screen. I'm sorry. That should have been 85. Sorry. My bad. Which now this becomes 135. All right. Letter D needs 9,000. Insurance is going to pay all of it. 0 because all of it because it's less than 50. And now we're at 144. Now, guys, keep an eye at how much you have now versus what the max payout is. There's only $6,000 left for the insurance to pay out. So when we get to Tommy, Tommy needs $8,000. But insurance only has $6,000 left. So insurance will pay the rest, because what happens is, let's do the what if. What if the insurance paid all of it? Well, if the insurance paid all of it, then we're sitting at $152,000. Well, the insurance can't pay more than 150, so obviously insurance cannot pay for all of Tommy. All right, so they can only pay what is left, which is only 6,000 left. So 6 will go here, which means Tommy would have to pay 2,000 for himself, and we max out at 150. All right. So this answers question 9 and 10. How much does the insurance company pay? Well, let's just add up that column. How much does Tommy pay? I don't know. Let's just add up that column. So when we add up the insurance column, we end up with 150,000. All right. When we add up the Tommy, this gives us 24,000. All right. So that's all the medical stuff. Now let's actually get to the property damage. Now remember, property means their stuff. Okay. So property means their stuff, not Tommy's stuff. So that means I'm going to add everything that is theirs, but not Tommy. So that is here all the way to there. And so when I add all of their stuff, I end up with 20,800. All right. Now, 30,000 is what the property insurance calls for, meaning it won't pay more than 30,000. That's the limit. They only need $20,000. So that means insurance will pay all of it. So that's where A would be 20,800. All right. And lastly, it says how much, I'm going to go back down, how much will Tommy have to pay to get his own car fixed? So looking at his own car, it's $10,000 to fix his car, his own car. But here's the deal. He only pays his deductible. All right. So he only pays his deductible. That's the only thing that he has to pay. So that answers question number 12. How much would Tommy have to pay to get his car fixed? The first $500. Now, if the question was asking how much would insurance pay for his car, that would be the additional $9,500. All right. So be prepared. That question may find itself on the test as well. All right. That's everything regarding the quiz. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.